Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Miss Rossi.
Friends, Henrico families, we are here at Laburnum Elementary School with Miss Henry's fabulous third grade class, and today we're going to be doing a lesson on ancient Greek columns. So boys and girls, welcome. Let's pay attention real quick. Today's expectations, I expect 5 stars from you all today. You all know all about art stars. You came in on a level 0, so I'm going to go ahead and clip your first star for entering in on a level 0. We also have a special organizer today. If you're sitting at seat 2, raise your hand. Seat 2, 1, nope, that's, yep, you, and I'll have you be seat 2 today too, okay? All right, so that's my seat 2. Those are my organizers. I want you to turn your eyes and look right in front of you where there are containers, and the way the table is set up right now, that's the way it's going to be when you leave the room. Can I get a yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, seat number 2, you are in charge of that. Today, our new lesson is about Greek columns. And raise your hand, boys and girls, if you can tell me what 2 ancient civilizations you have been learning about in your class with Mrs. Henry. Yes. Ancient Greece, and do you want to phone a friend? Okay, someone else help her. Raise your hand and she'll call on you.
There's the Colosseum and the Parthenon.
You are so smart. We're going to get to that. So we learned about ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Okay, very good. So do you recognize this building? My friend who is so smart right there, could you tell me what this building is?
The Parthenon.
This is the Parthenon, right? And this is in ancient Greece. And this is a very, very important part of Greece's architecture, okay? The coolest thing about this building, it was built so many years ago, and it is still around today. And if you go to Greece today, you can walk through it and see. It's very, very fascinating that it's still there. It's a very important part of Greek architecture. Who can tell me what architecture means? You can take a guess. We haven't talked about it. Architecture. What do you think it might have to do with? You don't have to give me the actual definition. Yes?
The texture of the building?
Yeah, it has to do with building. So it's the art of creating or designing a building, okay? So it's very important. This is very important because the ancient Greeks created what's called post and lintel construction. Let's say that together. Post and lintel construction. All that means is that there is a horizontal slab, which is right here, that is supported by vertical columns, which are right here. I know you all learned about columns, yes? Yeah. So the columns are the verticals, and then the slab on top is the horizontal. So the columns are the posts, and the slab is the lintel. It's called post and lintel construction, okay? So it's really important because let's think about how our houses are made. Raise your hand if you've ever driven by and seen somebody build a house, okay? We use post and lintel construction when we build houses. We usually start with, if you see people, construction workers building houses, they usually start with wood, like wooden posts. And then what would be the slab on top? What do we call that? Yes, the roof, right? Okay, it's very, very sturdy. And so it's really, really important to us that we remember the ancient Greeks for coming up with this fabulous idea. All right, we're going to do something real quick. We are going to have a little experiment, okay? So I have these cups, and I have this board. I'm going to have these be my posts, and these be my lintel, or this be my lintel, excuse me. So who would like to volunteer? Let's see, 1, 2. All right, so if I was gonna make a post and lintel construction out of these cups and this board, how would I do it? What do you think?
You put the cups down first.
Okay, show me. You guys show me together. I'll give you half. Okay, now what?
Then put the roof on top.
Okay, now let's look at it real quick because it might be the board is a little bit too small for how you put the cup. So let's fix it up a little bit. I'm going to remove the board.
I think we got to smush it together.
So smart. All right, now let's put the board on. Maybe we should put this one in the middle. What do you think? Is that good? All right, now we should put the board on. Okay. They have just made post and lintel construction. Fabulous job. Now, how much do you, these are the columns, right, and then this is the roof. So friends, do you think that this is a sturdy structure? Yeah, that means, can it hold weight?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Do you think it can hold Miss Rossi's phone?
Yes.
Let's try. Stick it on there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you think it can hold this really heavy tape dispenser?
Yes.
It's really heavy. You try.
Yeah, that's heavy. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you think it can hold Mrs. Rossi?
No. Because you're going to smash the cup.
You think I'll smash the cups?
Yeah.
We're going to try. Miss Rossi's feeling pretty lightweight today. Miss Rossi didn't have a big breakfast, just in case. I need 2 more volunteers real quick. 1, 2. Remake my post and lintel construction, please. You 2 sit down. Or no, not you, okay, you. And then, here you go. You do this, you do that on the floor. Because Miss Rossi didn't want to stand on the table today.
Oh my God. You got the one.
All right, put it on top. All right, should I?
Yeah.
Should I try it? Okay,
Yeah.
ready?
It's gonna.
1, if you can't see, you can stand up at your seat. 1, 2, 3.
She's about to smush the cups. Yep, she's about to smush the cups.
Oh, Mrs. Rossi.
Can I try it?
Okay, go back to your seats.
Oh my God. How did you do that? Without even smushing the
The
cups.
ancient Greek civilization was so smart. This is amazing. This is this really, really sturdy structure. So, 3 different types of columns. We're going to start our drawing in just a second. We are going to focus on Ionic columns. There's 3 different types. Doric columns go straight up. Let me see straight up arms. Ionic columns have a little bit of sass. Give me some sass.
No, that's the girl.
And Corinthian columns are wild and free.
I like Corinthian.
I like them all. They're so beautiful.
I like Corinthian.
Okay, so the Parthenon used the Doric columns, which are just kind of the straight down. The ones that are in front of you, okay, this is the Temple of Athena that I put right in front of you, okay? These use the Ionic columns, which we're going to be drawing today. All right, this is Miss Rossi's Ionic column. You might have also seen the ones hanging in the hallway. This is a student version of an Ionic column. And then this is another example that I made. So the first thing we're going to do, the directions are up here on the board, but Miss Rossi's going to go over them with you. If you get lost, please look up here at the board before you raise your hand to ask me for help, okay? Because all the directions are up here. We are going to start off. You should have
A white piece of paper?
this, which is just a rectangle. If you do not want to use the rectangle, you don't have to. You can what we call freehand it, which means we're just drawing without tracing this rectangle. That's up to you. We are going, in just a minute, we are going to gather our supplies, which are 1 rectangle, 1 piece of black paper, and a black piece of chalk inside your cup. Go ahead and gather those materials and then look back up at me. We're going to be using neutral colors today, friends. Who can raise their hand and tell me what a neutral color is? Neutral colors. Who wants to take a guess? Yeah.
I think it's a bright color.
No, a neutral color. Think again, think again. Good guess. Yes. They could be dark colors. They're black. It's like black, gray, white, and sometimes tan. But it's a color you're not going to see on the color wheel. Look up there, the color wheel. You're not going to see these colors on the color wheel. Okay? So they're, yes, sir. In just a second. So these neutral colors we're going to be using to show shadows and highlights in our columns. They are going to make you a little bit messy. We will get wipes after class. Don't worry. Go ahead, trace your rectangle. This is going to be the bottom, which is called the shaft of the column. The top part of the column is your capital. So go ahead and trace your column shaft, and then add at the top 2 circles to start our capital. Go ahead, honey. Nice work, friends. I love these quiet voices. We're going to make sort of those swirls. It's kind of like, reminds me of a snail tail, right? So swirls inside those circles. All right, you guys are awesome. Next step, we're going to add the top of the capital. Okay, remember this is our shaft, this is our capital. The top of the capital is going to have a flat surface because that slab, right, the lintel part of the construction has to lay on top. So it's got to be flat. So we're going to make sort of a space up and then a space out. Space up, space out. Nice work. All right, then we are going to make what's called a scalloped line. So a scalloped line looks like this. Doot, 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 doot. But we are going to make that about right here. Scalloped line. And then we're going to bring our lines down at the edge of the scallop. I love when you guys make Miss Rossi noises when you're drawing. Doop, 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 doop. If you feel uncomfortable, you can dab your fingers onto the paper in front of you, okay? But we will have plenty of time to wash our hands. This is up to you. I've seen kids do hearts, stars. I've seen them do just plain lines to make it look more realistic. And then I've seen people do really creative stuff. So this top part is up to you. You are the designer. Figure out what's going to go on the top of your capital. We're going to color in with white in just a second. Yes.
Oh, we're on color white.
Now it's time for the shading, okay? So we add highlights and shadows to make this look more realistic. What is a highlight? Who knows? Yes. That's another example of a highlight, but yes.
A highlight when you trace around something.
Okay, so let me show you an example. A highlight is when the sun is hitting something so it makes it look lighter. Look outside real quick. Can you see where the sun is kind of hitting that building?
Yes.
And then on the bottom of the building it looks darker because that's where the shadow is? Yes. So that's the same thing we're doing here. We're going to add shadows and highlights on our column. The shadows are going to be made with the gray. We've got gray. And then the highlights are with the white. A little gray. Around the capital, a little gray. Make sure you have the right colors. So now we have a shadow and we have a highlight. I'm coming around to see your creations, guys. We want to leave a little bit of space for white, remember. That looks great, though. I love your decorations up at the top. Yeah, both of you guys. We're going to leave a little space for white. So let's try to follow the line with the white chalk instead of kind of shading over it. So kind of follow it. Okay, let's try it on this side, too. There you go. And then you can add a little bit more white in there, but just kind of go in that general direction.
This looks like it's real, like this, Miss Rossi. My color looks great.
Yes, it does. Okay, add 2 circles. I'll be right back. White wherever you kind of want to, okay, for the highlight. You could add it right in the middle. And try that. That looks really good with it. Kind of looks like it's popping out. All right, yes. your name, whatever you want.
Let's just do a zigzag.
Okay. I love this. Let's add a tiny little bit more either gray or white at the top carefully because you don't want to lose those stars. All right, you guys, you did a fabulous job. Let's have a really quick review. Who can remind me what architecture is? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you remember. Raise your hand. Yes, ma'am. What does it have to do with, we talked about, right? Phone a friend? Okay. Who do you want to call on? Someone with their hand up. Okay. What does it have to do with?
It has to do with columns and a roof.
Buildings, right? It has to do with designing or creating buildings. Exactly, architecture. All right, who remembers what post and lintel construction is? Yes. The columns were the verticals, and then we had a slab for the top. You're right, okay. And who invented that?
People.
The Greeks, right, okay. Who remembers what this part of the column is called?
Capital.
The capital, and then what's this part of the column called?
Columns.
What's this part of the column called?
Shaft.
Yes, the shaft. And which column did we do today? Doric, Ionic, or Corinthian? Ionic, remember the one with a little bit of what?
Yeah.
Sass. All right, Henrico families, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope you learned a little bit about Greek columns and architecture. Go Laburnum Lions!